Hello, English 1102 summer students, and welcome to the second week of the semester. I would like to say the first full week, but we had Memorial Day yesterday. I do want to take a second here to remember those that have fallen. Remember the soldiers that gave their all so that we can have the freedom to pursue a higher education and to go to college and learn how to write and to discuss these matters openly because of freedom of speech and freedom of writing and things like that. So to those that gave their all, I salute you, or I salute those soldiers, and I hope you will too. And now that the holiday is over, the 4-day weekend, let's go ahead and get started with the actual semester. I do want to answer a couple of questions. One question I've been getting is, do we need the textbook in this class? And the answer is yes, because the textbook actually has the short stories and has the poems and has the play. So it's all in one thing. I selected the least expensive textbook I could find. Our default text is probably about twice as much as what the text I've asked for is. So I selected the textbook that I selected basically because it is inexpensive. Now, of course, you're probably going to have to rent it to get the best deal, and then you have to return it to make sure you don't get charged full price and all that stuff. But definitely get that book. You can't read the stories and the poems and the play without it. The next question somebody asked me is, do you have to read the stories before you take the quiz? Well, the definition of a reading quiz is that you read the stories first and then you take the quiz after you've read it. So yes, read the stories first. If you've read the stories, I've tried to make the quiz questions easy enough so that you can find the answer, or if you read the stories, you'll remember, oh yeah, and boom, you go ahead and answer them. I do want to say that I've noticed that some students are taking too much time on the quiz. Don't do that. What that means is you're not reading the stories first. What that means is you're looking at the questions, then you're trying to scramble through the story and find the answers. Don't do that. Read the stories first. You have to understand them in order to do well in the quiz. Okay. Now, that's the reading quizzes. Now, the first paper is actually due next Monday, so you've got about 6 more days if you're watching this on Tuesday. I have put in the prose paper folder not only the instructions, which you should read very carefully, but remember that you're expected to have quotes on whichever story you choose. And the instructions have suggestions for questions. In fact, most students use that as their guide. You can look at the questions in the textbook, or you can maybe something has occurred to you that I might not have thought of. That happens from time to time too, and you're welcome to write a paper on that as long as you can back your points up. I have also added a quoting prose handout in that prose paper folder. You have to quote from the story that you choose, and you only need to choose one story. You can say like in the Cast Amontillado, Montresor was upset at Fortunato because he insulted him. But what might be better is to use the opening line of that story. Say, Montresor opens the Cast Amontillado with, "The 1,000 entries of Fortunato I had borne as best I could, but when he resorted to," or whatever the words are, "he resorted to insult, I vowed revenge." Put in his own words, and it's much more effective than you just saying, well, he threatened him because of revenge. So I'd say maybe one direct quote per paragraph. These are only like 5-paragraph essays anyway. It's going to take 2 pages. Maybe you might not even fill up 2 pages. It's really 5 paragraphs. So maybe 3 quotes in the story, 1 for each body paragraph, and you're done. But I do expect quotes, because as you move forward in college, you may not write any more papers on literature, especially if you're in a major that doesn't require that you take an American lit or British lit or whatever. But you will be quoting from outside sources throughout your college career. So you need to learn how to do that. And that's part of what we're doing in this class. And that's really part of what we're going to do in the research paper as well, but you're going to do it for every paper. So read those instructions closely. Maybe think of these questions as you're reading the story. Maybe make little notes. Have a little notepad off to the side, make little notes so that you'll know what to put in the paper. And that's it. So you've got until June the 6th to get this paper in. If you want me to look at it, you're going to want to attach it to an email, because once you put it in the Dropbox, it gets a grade. So attach it to an email, say, can you look this over? I'll try my best to look it over. If you submit it to me at 6 o'clock on Monday night next week, I'm certainly not going to look it over because I'm just not going to have time. But, sometime later this week, say Wednesday, Thursday, or whatever, you have a draft you want me to look at, I'll be happy to do that. Also, bear in mind, we have a writing center here at Darden State College. If you live out of town, we have an online version of the writing center. If you live in Albany, you can go ahead and drop by the writing center, and Mr. Preston and Ms. Sheffield Hayes and their staff will be happy to help you out with that as well. And you've got my office hours. I'm in there from 9 to 12 Monday through Thursday, or this week Tuesday through Thursday. But usually Monday through Thursday from 9 to 12 I'll be in my office in person. And you can drop by, say hello. I like it when my online students drop by and say, hi, I'm so-and-so in your online class. And I'm like, that's awesome. And then, you can sit down with a draft and you and I can go over it together. That's probably the best thing to do if you live in the Albany area. All right, so that's it. Let's get these short stories read. Remember that this is summer semester, so we're kind of going at a little bit quicker speed than we would be in a regular semester, but I really think that this is doable. In fact, I know it's doable because I've been teaching this online 1102 class for the last 4 or 5 summers. So it is doable, and let me know if you have any questions by either calling me, emailing me, or dropping by.